as much as it is now just a common part of our entertainment landscape, you'd be forgiven if you forget that streaming is still a really brand new thing in, terms of the history of Hollywood and entertainment. It is pretty brand new. And as a result, streaming is still in many ways trying to figure out what it is. It's trying to figure out its identity. It's trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work, all that kind of stuff. Lessons have been learned already, but more lessons are coming. One of the things that we've learned about one of the major streamers, of course, Disney Plus, is that they've decided that the initial thought of quantity isn't working and doesn't work. We've seen a lot of the streamers in the studio start to realize, it's a challenge generating revenue with streaming. It's a significant challenge. We've already seen a lot of the streamers, including Disney Plus and others, Netflix and what have you, going kind of back to the old cable model of let's have an ad-supported tier and run commercials just like we used to do and all that kind of stuff. And they're realizing, hey, man, just having these things sitting on streaming, we got to pay licensing fees and we got to pay. There are shows literally out there that we have that are costing us money, but not making us any money. That's how you go out of business. And Bob Iger, upon returning to the CEO office at Disney, said, we are going to start paring back what we do. Now, he's talked specifically about the MCU. He thought we've overburdened the MCU. We've diluted the brand. We're going to start pulling back a little bit, focus more on quality instead of quantity. Because, once Bob Paycheck got in there, he just started putting out the mandates of fire, more. And that's hurt them. They've all said the same thing about Star Wars. Several projects have been canned, but it's not just that. It's other avenues there too. And in recent days, and over the last week and a half or so, 3 major shows, non-MCU, non-Star Wars, have had the plug pulled. Check this out. So Disney had, I'm going to admit, I never saw a single episode of this show. Doogie Kamealoha, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, M.D., which is kind of like a re-envisioning of Doogie Howser, M.D. It already had 2 seasons.
Oh, wow.
And I believe they shot a 3rd, but they pulled the plug on it. The Spiderwick Chronicles already shot.
Poor Christian Slater.
Was Slater in that one?
Yep.
I did not know.
Yep.
I love Christian Slater.
Pump up the volume, baby.
Spiderwick Chronicles already shot. Ready to go. Disney decided, nope, pulling the plug on it. Now, it's actually owned by Paramount. They had just licensed, Disney was going to be the exhibitor of it, but so it's probably going to find a home somewhere else, maybe on Paramount Plus, maybe somewhere else. Also, another series that actually was shot, the Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea Captain Nemo show, The Nautilus, shot. Disney's decided, you know what? Not going to do it. It's going to get shopped around elsewhere. Maybe it'll get picked up somewhere else. Pulled the plug on it. Now, the big thing about this story isn't necessarily Doogie, isn't necessarily Spiderwick, isn't necessarily Nautilus, but we are tangibly now seeing some of the impact of, let's call it a course correction, that a major streamer, one major streamer, but it's going to be others as well. We've seen Max kind of do this a little bit too, deciding we need to pull back. We need to focus on fewer original programs, hopefully make them better, make them actual attractions rather than a lot of quote unquote filler content. Because let's face it, I have not seen a single episode of this Doogie show. Okay, just to be clear, I haven't seen a single episode, so I can't say anything good or bad about it. I have not seen it. But what I can say is this, in my own personal experience and in my own personal circles, I don't personally know anybody who signed up to Disney Plus to watch Doogie. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying I don't personally know anybody that's ever said to me, or written into the show to say, you know what? Signed up for Disney Plus this week because I got to watch Doogie.
Game day.
Game day.
Game Doog.
Again, I'm not trying to disparage the show. I've never seen it. I can't say a single bad thing about it. I'm just saying I don't know anybody that's ever done that. Yeah. I've also not heard anybody, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, have we had a single person write in talking about their anticipation for the Spiderwick Chronicles?
I don't think so.
I don't think we have. No, again, not to say that it's not going to be an amazing show, but we haven't. And I certainly, I love Captain Nemo, to be honest with you. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is my jam, but I haven't heard anybody write in with anticipation talking about excitement for Nautilus either. And I think what you're going to see moving forward, even Netflix, which the running joke on South Park is, answer, ring, 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 ring. Netflix, you're greenlit, even though that's always been the joke about Netflix.
Phone just keeps ringing now.
Sandros has recently been talking about how they're going to be moving in a direction where they're going to be paring back and pulling back, all that kind of stuff, because money's being lost where it doesn't need to be lost. And what they thought was going to be the pattern, turns out it's not the pattern. And I think these 3 shows are honestly just the tip of the iceberg. I think we're going to see more of this in the coming months. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, DraftKings. Can you believe we've had 7 months without an NFL game? Crazy, right? Well, good thing that's over. NFL is here, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is giving you a can't-miss offer for Week 1. This week, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you just bet $5 on any NFL game. DraftKings is hooking everyone up with game day greatness. All customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every single game day this September. Check the app to see what you get. So download now and use the code Campea to sign up. New customers can take home $200 in bonus bets instantly just for betting $5. That's code Campea only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. See dkng.co/football for eligibility, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Anyway, Chris, that you've seen this. Number one, have you seen any episodes of Doogie? What were you looking forward to Nautilus or Spiderwick? And what do you think this says about the overall direction of streaming and things like that?
I was aware of Doogie. I didn't watch any Doogie. A friend.
You didn't watch the Doog?
They didn't teach me how to Doogie. They didn't do any of it.
Show me how to Doogie.
A friend of mine, her partner is Native Hawaiian, and I know she had problems with this show with just some of the representation on it, and that's all I know about it. But that was it. It seemed like a charming, cute thing, but also Disney, historically, at least with their Disney Channel original shows, ends or rebrands things after 3 seasons. So I don't know how much longer Doogie was going to be around to begin with.
Right.
The other 2 shows, though, it was, they're doing another Spiderwick Chronicles. That's neat. Oh, fun. And especially Christian Slater. That makes me very excited. I love him.
Yeah, I'm suddenly now more interested in the show than I was 5 minutes ago.
Now I'm like,
but they are,
come on, Paramount.
This one they're shopping out.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, Paramount will have some options here.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one should get a second life and everything. Nautilus, I love.
I was looking
20,000
forward to
Leagues Under the
this.
Sea. I really love that story. I love Jules Verne. I think that would have been really cool. I had no idea they were doing anything with that, though.
Look at this, the sets I've been looking at. This is one pool. They had a ton of other ones that they were just, that's a lot of money to do this over and over.
Money. And that looks cool as hell.
Yeah.
And it's shot. And they decided, no, we're not going to air it because it's not going to make us any money. It's so weird.
It seems like such an odd trend. I don't know. After WB dumped a bunch of their products, right, that were already made and ready to go, and now we've got Disney doing the same thing. It is mind-boggling to think about. This is the most cost-effective thing, spending billions of dollars on your shows, and then going, meh. It's so wild to me that we can just toss things aside like
License
that.
it somewhere then.
But yeah, that's the thing.
Sell it out to somebody.
It's also about, I mean, look, we come across this all the time. It's part of the play here is knowing when to cut your losses. It's kind of like I give the equation to going to Vegas and playing roulette. It's like, okay, you're down $5,000. You can have the mindset that, well, we got to keep playing to try to win it back. Or you just go, you know what? I could lose $5,000 more. We're just going to cut our losses. I'm not going to play anymore. Not that I ever play roulette or that I've ever lost $5,000, just to be clear. At that, it's if you're sitting down, though, and saying, look, this money's been spent on this. That's how much we've spent. But it's going to cost us an additional this.
Right.
To continue the process, get it properly out, pay the licensing fees. And do we believe we're even going to get that much more money back? And if we don't think we are, we got to cut bait. Like we got to cut our losses and move on.
Not to mention, if this is a series, then there's also the thought of a season 2. And it's like, we don't want to have to commit to a season 2, so don't even put out season 1.
Well, and this is where I wonder if the streaming model really just does screw the pooch on everything, because we used to have, just the pilot episode. And that's what got shopped.
I was going to say that earlier because, it's like, you did used to have, sorry, I went to the wrong shot. You did used to have, your pilots.
Yeah.
And then even if it got beyond the test and you did a few episodes, we've seen situations where audiences weren't showing up to view, and we had the real data, so they would cut it.
Exactly.
But you don't have that with streaming.
It just seems so weird. This model, so much of this model is not sustainable.
No, 100%. And that's why, like, remember, when we're talking about traditional cable television, all that kind of stuff, you got to understand, it had like 80 years to form, develop, run, and it's coming to the end of its life cycle, but still it had like 80 years to get to where it is. This whole streaming thing is still a relatively brand new thing, and they don't have all the answers figured out yet, which I mean, we're going to get into some strike stuff here in a second, which is, I think, part of the real friction between the studios and the guilds is obviously the reality now of streaming. And a lot of people don't know that they don't have it figured out yet. And what are we going to create these new realities as? So it's going to be interesting to see how this one kind of evolves. But again, I don't think we've seen the end of shows getting canceled or having the plug pulled. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.